Hello, I'm George from Ireland. I'm on Berkeley Square in London, in the area called Mayfair. Now behind me is the Clermont Club, not Clermont, but Clermont, like the town in France. I'm not sure why it has that name. So here it is, a private members club, and it was a gambling establishment. It wasn't always here. It's been in Curzon Street, not very far away now. But the premises in Curzon Street is now Aspinall's, which is something different organization, but similar aesthetic and activities going on there. So this was set up by John Aspinall, the man who was gambling for gorillas, who was trying to save mountain gorillas, who had Aspinall's, that zoo in Kent where the keepers would go with the tigers, but a few of them got killed doing that. Anyway, so in those days the laws around gambling were quite restrictive, rather puritanical, so you couldn't just go and gamble. Even betting at race courses was illegal until well into the 20th century. But if you're a member of a private club, you could. It's some sort of private game, so you had to join the club like at least 24 hours before you wanted to gamble, and he made it a very fashionable thing. So lots of gentlemen and ladies would be there in dinner jackets or in evening dresses, gambling away, drinking hard liquor. Obviously you smoked like chimneys in those days, so hundreds of thousands of pounds would change hands in one evening. House always wins, at cards, at roulette, things like that. So anyone who was anyone in London was there. David Stirling, founder of the SAS, was there. Ian Fleming, the Bond novelist, he was there. Lucky Lucan used to play there. That's the Earl of Lucan, who notoriously murdered his children's nanny, Sandra Rivet. Sir James Goldsmith, the tycoon, he used to gamble there, and on and on. So they're known as the Clermont set, or the Mayfair set. Tiny Roland used to go there, and so on. So Sir James Goldsmith was, I think he was born in France actually, but he was half British, half French, I think half Jewish, I think only on his father's side. His father was a Conservative MP and a hotelier who was an ecologist before it was fashionable. But so Sir James Goldsmith used to love going here. I won't tell you the whole James Goldsmith story, but in 1976, Private Eye, the satirical socially commentary magazine, published a piece saying that after Lucan murdered his nanny in 74, Sir James Goldsmith and others had helped to shelter him whilst he was on the run. So Sir James Goldsmith issued a writ for criminal libel. The last time someone's trying to do that against Private Eye magazine, and he was eventually persuaded to withdraw after a sum of money was paid and a grovelling apology. It could have bankrupted Paul Ingham's magazine, which had done so much to lift the lid on murky goings on in politics, rotten boroughs and so on. Had its columns. It's also a scream. If you ever want to know what's really going on in politics in this country, you've got to read Private Eye. Because of libel laws, they often wouldn't say things baldly, but in this case they said things outright. There's a book about it, Golden Balls, this attempt to prosecute for criminal libel. Anyway, so it's obviously been under renovation, but with coronavirus being what it is, it's closed down. Then Sir James Goldsmith, his first wife, she was Bolivian, I think, but she was heavily pregnant when she died. I think it was a peritonitis, and he was distraught. He was about 17. He was in his mid-20s. And her father very much disapproved of that, and he said, her father said, "We are not in the habit of marrying Jews," to which he replied, "We are not in the habit of marrying Red Indians," partly native Bolivian. But he married a few other times and several other children, and then he was having an affair with the Marquess of London, whose daughter had children with her, Annabel. And then downstairs is the nightclub Annabel's. It doesn't look too salubrious entrance right now, because presumably, oh, is that the right entrance? Been out of use for some time. Or is it the one down there? But they used to be run together, but they're now separate, Annabel's and the Clermont Club. And Annabel's the only nightclub that Her Majesty the Queen has ever been into, as it is a very chic and expensive nightclub. It's not just anyone can go there. They tend to be sort of older people, so it's very high end. Right, so this is Berkeley Square around. I'm showing you Berkeley spelt Berkeley, but pronounced Berkeley, as in Berkeley Castle in Gloucestershire, or George Berkeley the philosopher. I'm not sure why this has got the name Berkeley Square. So that's Clive of India's house. I'm just thinking, maybe have they moved? Is that it? because I think this is the entrance to Annabel's. I've checked it out before. They can't, because I know the Clermont Club and Annabel's, they don't work together anymore, which they used to. So he named a nightclub after his mistress, Annabel. Then he got divorced and he married her, and they'd had a number of children, Zach Goldsmith and Lord Goldsmith, as he is now, formerly the MP for Richmond Park and Kingston North. This is the entrance to Annabel's. That's more like it, so you can stay out of the rain as you're going down the stairs. There are always people there to meet you. Look, Jay Safran, that Lebanese banker, his headquarters. He died in that fire in Monaco about 20 years ago. What else about Annabel's? Yeah, so James Goldsmith notoriously said, when a man marries his mistress, he creates a job vacancy. So he led that referendum party in 1997, demanding the United Kingdom hold a referendum before getting rid of the pound sterling and adopting the euro. Got all three parties to pledge to do that. Nevertheless, he went ahead and stood in the election. Probably cost the Conservatives a few seats, but he knew he was dying, and he died just a couple of months later in July 1997, died in his Mexican estate. All right, that's enough about the Clermont Club and Annabel's nightclub. Toodaloo.